Hey Mena Warriors, it's Kate and welcome back to my channel where you can expect weekly videos from me on a Monday to share all things menopause and hopefully meet you where you are at in life. Today I'm going to be talking about a lack of libido and natural solutions that you can actually help to improve matters. If it's the first time you've come across me, I help instill belief in menopausal women that actually you can feel even happier and more energized and more in control of your life than ever you were before menopause happened. There is light at the tunnel. It's happened to me. It's happened to countless other ladies that I work with. And I hope I can instill belief in you that it can actually happen to you too. I speak to so many ladies who are just like so discombobulated. They've lost their sense of identity. They have no idea how to go about trying to rediscover themselves. I'm all about recreating yourself. We move through this phase and it's about moving beyond, stronger, wiser, more confident and more grounded. So let's get started. I think a falling libido is certainly one of the most common symptoms. And I think it can actually be one of the most distressing too, because it's not just us that it affects. It has that negative impact on our significant other. And there are various factors. It's due to the falling estrogen, but it has such an emotional and physical impact on our lives in general. But like I said, not just us, our significant other as well. And I think if you're able to talk with your partner, it makes life so much easier. If you struggle to open up emotionally and communicate what your fears are, how you're feeling, or if your partner is just not really open to a conversation, that can be a lot more difficult. And in that instance, I would harness maybe the influence of a significant friend or family member who might be able to open that conversation on your behalf and just get things started, because it's so important that you don't feel alone in this. And sometimes it's a very lonely, isolating situation to be in, particularly if you're not sure how to verbalize things. So I hope some of the information I'm going to share with you today will give you some information as to why these things are happening to you. You can also try some of the natural remedies out that I'm going to suggest to you. That might be sufficient that it works and you don't have to have that conversation. But if you do struggle, try and get an ally, somebody you trust, to maybe open that conversation with your significant other, so that it can eventually lead to a heart to heart, because it's so important. The estrogen, when we are in having our periods and you're about to ovulate, that's normally when your estrogen levels are at the highest. And that's also, if you go through the month, and sometimes in the month you're feeling more energized, maybe a little bit more sexy, and then there are other times of the month when you're feeling just get away from me. That again is down to the sort of fluctuating estrogen and progesterone levels in our bodies. But as we go through the menopause, our estrogen and progesterone and testosterone are all falling, but estrogen falls less quickly than the progesterone, which tends to fall off very fast. Progesterone helps us feel comforted, it helps us feel calmer. And so with estrogen, sometimes you might be feeling very energized, other times you might be feeling very irritable, very moody, and that is down to those fluctuating hormones. And it can have a negative effect on how you're feeling. Now, as well as our having just busy lives as we are, particularly like with empty nesting or menopausal, your kids are leaving, dynamics in your relationship might be changing just by the fact that you've not got the distraction of kids at home. You might be caring for elderly parents. You might have been made redundant. You might be thinking, cripes, is this it? Am I going to be doing, if you are in a job, am I going to be doing this for the next few years? I'm just feeling horrendous. I'm getting no support from the workplace. What can I do? It can be very disconcerting at this period of life. So already we're tired, already we're stressed. And then internally in our bodies, because of the erratic hormones, our bodies are always trying to balance. And when where is the balancing point? Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's down there. The body itself just gets stressed and tired too. So we're dealing with like that double whammy of emotional tiredness and physical fatigue, as well as the changing hormones and the sort of the erratic hormones. So if you're feeling exhausted, if you're feeling absolutely downbeat, and if you're feeling emotional, that is probably why. And give yourself a break, because there is no point in being a martyr. It's sometimes maybe just go to bed and have a sleep, or read a book, or listen to some soft music if you're able to. I know not everybody can, but we are all capable of getting to bed a bit earlier than we otherwise do. We are all capable of eating probably healthier than we do. We're all capable of probably drinking less alcohol than some of us do. So those are things that you can take action on. You are 100% responsible for your life. And if you're feeling really downbeat and exhausted, start a few baby steps, make a few small changes that are going to improve how you feel. Alcohol, for instance, it has a depressive effect on us. You know, it can dampen your spirits the next day if you've had some, and it doesn't need to be a heavy night the night before. It affects how you sleep, which means you feel more tired during the day, which means your hormones are more imbalanced too, all of the hormones, not just the sex hormones. So there are things that we can do to help. Now, just going back to sort of libido and sexual issues. So essentially, when our estrogen levels are falling, it starts to, the wall of the vagina gets thinner, it can get drier, all of our mucous membranes start to dry out once our estrogen falls, and we lose that elasticity. So firstly, sex can actually be painful. And I don't think it's going to take many occasions of having painful sex for you to actually start to be put off it. Whether you're feeling like you want to or not, if it's hurting, it kind of loses its appeal. With things like, if it's a lubrication problem, try a natural product, because the lining of the vagina is really sensitive, and you don't want to be using things that have got chemicals in them. They might be harsh, they might actually be making the situation worse. I always recommend people use possibly coconut oil. It's natural, it's got essential fatty acids in it, it's actually going to be beneficial to the wall of the vagina, and it's also going to give you some natural lubrication. But if coconut oil doesn't turn you on, excuse the pun, pardon the pun, go to your health shop, health food shop. They will have some natural lubricants that you can try out. And you know, if it is just a lubrication issue, give that a try. If you've got serious pain, if you feel like you've got like an overall pain, go and see your healthcare provider in case it's an indication of a prolapse. If you're feeling heavy and achy and it's just uncomfortable, sometimes it might be wind, especially if you've changed your diet recently, if you've added more fiber, that can make you feel quite uncomfortable. But if it's a persisting thing, go and get it checked up. It might just be the indication of some kind of prolapse. And to be honest, most prolapses can be treated. So don't feel like, oh no, I don't want to be told I've got a prolapse. Go and get it checked, because also with effective Kegel exercises, and I say effective because there's the right way to do it and the wrong way to do it. I've actually got on my YouTube channel, I've got a playlist of pelvic floor friendly exercises, right from beginner up to more advanced exercises. I'll link to it at the bottom of this video. Check that out if you feel like you need some pelvic floor strengthening. That can also obviously enhance things. It can make you more sensitive. Falling estrogen can also lead to a desensitization. So, you know, it might be that you want to be doing some pelvic floor exercises to increase the blood flow around there, to just increase the strength and the support that you have around the vaginal area. That is certainly going to enhance sex when you have it. So lubrication, think about something natural, talk to your healthcare provider, talk to the natural health food company or something along those lines. Or like I say, try coconut oil or even olive oil. All those sorts of things are good for you. It's also when we go through menopause, I think we just tend to, so many things are happening. You know, we're starting to look older. We might be having more aches and pains. We're probably sleeping not as effectively as we used to. And it's not just the physical things. It can be like, we don't want to be seen naked anymore because we might have put on weight. We might be feeling more anxious and a bit more sensitive. It can affect our intimate relationship on so many different levels. So talk to somebody about it, even if it's another girlfriend. Message me. If you have nobody that you can talk to, message me. I will talk to you and I will support you and help you. So I just want you to understand that as far as lubrication goes, there are things that you can do. Another thing that also tends to decline is our levels of oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is, I refer to it as like our cuddle hormone. You know, when you hug someone, you get that lovely feeling. That's oxytocin. Oxytocin is very high when mum and baby start feeding together. It's a real sort of bonding hormone. Well, that also drops off when we're going through the menopause. And you might get to the stage where you're actually thinking, I actually don't want to hug you anymore. I don't want to cuddle you. I don't want to be close to you. Again, that's your hormones. There are things that you can do to improve that by making sure you're better rested, that you're addressing your other menopausal symptoms, that you're managing your stress as well as you can. But just know that there is a physical aspect to it. And the fact is, our oxytocin levels, that cuddle hormone, is also falling. A lot of women do this. It's not that you're fallen out of love with your partner. It just means that you're just feeling different about the relationship. But you know, when from a man's point of view or your female partner's point of view, I don't think it takes much for them to think, oh, well, suddenly they're changing and they're really irritable and they don't want to be intimate anymore. It's so important that you talk to them, because they need to know that you still love them. They just need to also understand what's going on for you, so that they can support you too. And to be honest, if they don't support you, well, I would consider, are they the right partner for you? Never stay stuck in a situation that doesn't make you happy. But I think also understand that this is a phase. I'm not saying I'm not for like quick relationships. I think, you know, working through the problems makes a relationship stronger if you're able to. But so do make sure that you have that conversation, even if you do it via a friend or a significant other. So I've covered Kegel exercises. Pilates is also really good for the core and the pelvic floor area. In fact, any type of exercise, some of the exercise programs I do, I use a core ball, which is very good for your inner thigh tone, but also it can work very effectively for the pelvic floor. Once you've done, if you have a look at those exercises that I share on YouTube, you'll learn, I talk about like the jellyfish effect, and it's sort of like, it's that our pelvic floor is like a hammock, it's like a sling, and we've got the front, back and sides to it. And it's not just about one aspect, it's about making sure that all aspects of the pelvic floor are equally strong. I'm not going to go into any detail. Have a look at those videos if you want to, but you know, there are things that you can do physically to strengthen your, you know, the areas that are going to have a positive impact on how you feel intimately with your partner. Now, I'm also going to talk about adaptogens and also vitamins, and also buckthorn oil. It's not necessarily a vitamin, but it can be extremely beneficial. And there are a few links that I'm going to put below this video. So if you want to check them out and read them, you can have a look. I haven't got links for everything, but you know, significantly there are some down there. So if you want to check those out. Now, Cordyceps is one of my favorite adaptogen herbs, because of what Cordyceps is. Essentially, it sort of grows out of the back end of a dead caterpillar. I know it sounds revolting, but it is incredibly powerful. It is used to boost sexual desire in women, and specifically around the menopause, it can be very, very effective. It basically enhances the biosynthesis of steroid hormones, like cortisol, estrogen, and testosterone. And as we age, the production of those hormones obviously declines. The Chinese women's athletic team in the 1993 Olympics, they literally swept the board, and they had so much more energy and stamina than they normally had. And it's the year that they took Cordyceps as part of their training regimen. I take a range of adaptogen herbs every day in like a little sachet of superfoods. Cordyceps is one of them. I love Cordyceps. Another one I take daily is called Schisandra. You've probably heard of Ashwagandha. I'll go onto that one in a moment. But Cordyceps and Schisandra also specifically for menopausal women, controlling our stress levels, controlling our hormone balance. They are incredibly powerful. So Schisandra is basically an aid for sex and also even reproduction. It can boost your sex drive. So whether you're pre-menopausal or actually menopausal, it can even boost the sperm count in men. It can improve blood flow. So, if you're going through the menopause, Schisandra is definitely worth taking a look at. Maca is another adaptogen herb that I take daily. It's known as Peruvian Viagra in Peru. It creates a lot of energy. It's just, it's one of those things that I think just because it creates energy, it helps you, and with the increased blood flow, it'll help your skin feel better. It'll help you feel more energized. It'll make you feel lighter and less kind of in the doom and the gloom. And it's also very specific about improving sexual function. Also helps to protect the nervous system, and is, yeah, like I say, it's known as Peruvian Viagra. Viagra is definitely regarded as an aphrodisiac. And then the other one I take, that I mentioned a while back, is ashwagandha. There's quite a bit out there about ashwagandha. It helps to keep balance in the body, helps you manage stress more effectively. It's really good for our brain health. And it's also one of those herbs, adaptogenic herbs, that increases blood flow to the sexual organs, and just can enhance intimacy and sensation. I'm trying to think of the other ones I take. Reishi, me take, and chaga and astralagus. Those are the other adaptogens, because people say, oh, which of the ones you take? So it's all of those. So going on to the vitamins, vitamin E, I recommend vitamin E as a good overall supplement for menopausal health in general, against joint pain, to keep our skin healthy, to keep our brain healthy, to help with our just everything. But there are also reports about using vitamin E suppositories for lubrication, and also the health of the skin inside the vagina. So not just lubrication, but actually plumping it and just nourishing it and making it stronger. So do consider vitamin E. I will drop a source at the bottom of this. As with all these research reports, because it's not a medication, it might help and it might do, but it's not conclusive. And yes, it worked for these 52 women who da-di-da-di-da, but it might not work for the other population of the world. I find them really frustrating, because if it's helped even one person, it might help you. And with these things that I'm suggesting, I say treat yourself as a guinea pig. Give them a shot. What's the worst that can happen? You buy yourself a pack of vitamin E, make sure it's got the tocopherols and the tocotrienols if you're taking it orally. You'd probably need to go to your health food shop to get a vitamin E suppository, but you could probably just open up a capsule and use that as a lubricant even. Vitamin D, again, vitamin D, a bit like vitamin E, is an overall beneficial for our health. It's just like so important. But you can also get vitamin D suppositories, and they've been related to improving vaginal dryness and also vaginal health in general through the menopause, specifically through the menopause. Sea buckthorn oil is another one, and that is derived from the leaves, the seeds, and the berries of the sea buckthorn plant. It pops up a lot whenever I'm like researching information on natural remedies for menopause. Sea buckthorn oil shows up a lot. Whether you use that as a suppository or whether you take it orally, I'm not entirely sure, to be quite honest. I think it was taken orally. And certainly one of the studies I looked at, they were saying to have 3 gram capsule of sea buckthorn oil daily, to see how that, how that helps you. And then omega-3s, so omega-3s ideally from fatty fish, because you hear we've got omega-6s and omega-9s as well. We all tend to eat more omega-6s than we actually need. Omega-3s are the ones that we tend to eat not enough of. So if you can eat fatty fish regularly, that again is supposed to just help with your overall lubrication and obviously the health of your skin, your mucous membranes all over. I don't think that was so much of a suppository, and I'm actually quite relieved that they say it probably isn't a suppository, because it's omega-3 fishy fatty acids from fish oil. But if you take them orally, omega-3 supplements are supposed to be very, very beneficial for increasing lubrication in the body further, overall. So I think it's just give it a try it out, take one of these things and try it and see if it helps. For like immediate interim things, I would use, if it's lubrication, I would use coconut oil personally, and maybe start to incorporate one of the things I've said today. Like I say, I take a blend every day of the adaptogens and a range of vitamins, of which vitamin E is one of them. I would try it, see how you get on, and if you're finding not a lot of improvement, then move to something else. So say if you try like the vitamin E supplement and that doesn't work, maybe try sea buckthorn oil next, see if that works, but give it enough time. Try it for 4 to 6 weeks, see if you notice any difference, and if you don't, then move on to something else. But with things like this, I mean, I have nothing against HRT at all. I've just chosen to do the menopause naturally. I don't want to take hormones. I see this as a natural phase of life. I know some women really struggle and they need the help of HRT, even if it's just to get them to some level where they can then start to incorporate natural things and come off the HRT gradually. Because I speak to so many ladies who've been on HRT, and then when they come off, it's horrendous again for them because they've then got to come off HRT. So I can't speak with any information, my own experience of HRT. Like I say, I think it works very well for some people, and I encourage everyone to try natural remedies as well to see if sometimes it's a matter of adding the natural stuff with the HRT to support yourself on every level. So I hope that was helpful. If you have got anything you'd like me to cover in a future episode, please send me a message. I'll be more than happy to add it to my list. Please make sure to subscribe if you're on YouTube so that you don't miss future episodes. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this and found it helpful. And if you're watching this on social media, make sure you follow me so you don't miss out on future information. I'm all about healthy living, fitness, nutrition, doing what we can to support ourselves naturally through the menopause. I'm also a psychotherapist and an anxiety specialist. So I'm here to help if you've got anything that you feel you might need some help with. So thank you for your company. Make it a great week, and I will talk to you again soon.